Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ruby, this is Ruby Red, and today we're playing another round of my TBR game, tic-tac-TBR. I love TBR games, and this is my contribution to the genre. I don't like to have a really set TBR every month, so I played this game where I put 9 prompts into a 3x3 grid, a little tic-tac-toe board, and then throughout the month I read books that hopefully will fulfill those prompts, but I don't have to decide the list ahead of time. I can just mood read all month, and then at the end of the month, whatever prompts I've fulfilled, if I've gotten any 3 in a row, I get a reward that's going to help me out a little bit the next month, and if I don't get any 3 in a rows, nothing happens, there's no punishments, we just try again next month. There are a couple of other rules and I'll get into those if I have to. The playlist is linked down below, and so is the template that you can save to your own Google Drive, and you can just do your own thing. You could do your own game. So first things first, let's take a look at my board from March. The prompts that I had in March were Modern Classic, Water Element, Mythology, 4+ rating on Goodreads, Jane Eyre, a Booker Prize winner, a book about books, published in the 1990s, and a pink cover. And I did have one reward, which is a friend can read a book for me. So let me tell you how I did. First of all, let me put you out of your misery. I read Jane Eyre. Well, I actually haven't finished Jane Eyre as of right now, but I have 2 more days left in the month, and I think less than 60 pages to read, so I'm definitely gonna do it. I have been switching between reading on my Kindle and listening to the audiobook, so that's been going pretty well. And I'm almost done, and I want to give a huge thank you to Kayla from Kayla Ray Reads for buddy reading with me this month. It was honestly probably not the best time for her to be buddy reading this with me, but she did it anyway, and I really appreciate it because otherwise I don't think we would have made it. The next thing is that I finished Ship of Magic in March. I did read most of it in February, but I finished it in March, and certainly I could use that for Water Element, but what I actually used it for was published in the 90s because it was published in 1999, and that left me free to pursue some other water-related books, which I thought might be easier than to find some specifically 1990s published books, you know what I mean? You have to, it's a game of strategy, really. So I did end up listening to a book that could involve a water element, and that was The Woman in Cabin 10 by Ruth Ware. I listened to this audiobook. I didn't really like it, but it does take place on a boat. So water element, done. So things are looking good, right? Let's keep our momentum. Okay, so then at this point, I kind of take stock, and I am trying to see if there's anything that I'm already supposed to read that's gonna be 4.0 or higher on Goodreads. And the Shelf This book club pick, which is Bailey's book club, it was reading Again the Magic by Lisa Kleypas in March. Sorry, I can't remember the March month name. The name of the month, March. Anyway, they were reading Again the Magic, and I was gonna read it too, and it was rated 4.05 average stars on Goodreads. So even before I finished that, I just knew that I was gonna have that crossed off, so when it came time to find my next audiobook, I decided to search for a modern classic, because I also wasn't really sure what that means. First of all, I'm deleting that prompt. But a modern classic refers to a book that was published after World War II. That's what counts as modern. And so a lot of the classics, a lot of modern classics are books that I just consider classics because that was still a long time ago. Like Fahrenheit 451, that's a modern classic, but I'm like, that's just a classic. And I guess that's because I don't have the right view of the word modern. But the other element of that is just a book that was very influential in some way and has left its mark. Okay, so I listened to Silent Spring by Rachel Carson, and if you don't know that book, it was, I think, one of the very first influential environmental activism books to reach a wide audience and to also enact change. I think that book is really credited with the United States banning the use of DDT, which is an insecticide that was hugely harmful to people and also the environment in some very specific ways. And her book gets into that, and it also gets into a lot of other pesticide, insecticide, chemical dangers, and yeah, it was rough. That book was published in the 60s, so that was after World War II, so it's a modern classic. Now, you can see some things are starting to take shape. I can see the board really opening up before me. And the next thing that happened is I read a book about books, which was Vladimir by Julia May Jonas. Now, this is not only about books. It is about writers, though, and their books in a lot of ways. And I actually had like a little bit of a revelation about this book when I was talking about it with my book club last week, and I'm even more certain now that this was a book about books. So Vladimir counts for my book about books. I loved that book. Let's move on, because after I read Vladimir, I read Love and Other Disasters, which has a pink-ish cover. It's a stretch, but I'm gonna give it to me because I want it. So done. Not done, because I have one more thing to say, which is that another thank you is owed to Kayla from Kayla Ray Reads. She read, oh my god, what was it called? I forget. Lore Olympus 2? I don't know, but it's a graphic novel about Persephone and Hades, and that's mythology. So we're crossing that off too, which means that we almost did it. We almost got the blackout. So when I do get a blackout, I get my entire board filled, I have to pick a book off of my 30 by 30 as a challenge prompt. However, I didn't get a blackout, but I also kind of have a rule that I can't have more than 3 rewards per month or like at a time. So I can either, in this case where I have technically earned, I think 6 rewards for getting 6 different ways you could do 3 in a row, I can either just take 3 rewards, or I can take 0 rewards and do the challenge prompt. But I think that we've all really had enough of the challenge prompt, so we're gonna do the 3 rewards. So that's it for March. Amazing. Well done, everyone. Thank you, Kayla. Now let's move on to April. So before we head over to the screen record portion of this, I do just want to talk about a readathon that I am going to participate in April, the Magical Readathon Aurelium, hosted by G from Book Roast. I had a vlog about this, I think in the fall, the last time it was happening, and now it's happening again. And it's really cool and fun, and I like it a lot, and so I'm going to continue participating for now. I'm not going to get into it right now. I'm going to be posting a video about it and me eventually. I'll just say that there are prompts to be filled this month. There's loads of them, but there are 6 that I really want to do, and 3 of them are like more urgent than the other 3. So I'm just going to share them right now. I did also put them into my prompt list, so if they come up, great, but we know they probably won't. The higher priority prompts are to read a collection of essays or short stories, and for that I'm planning to read this book Erosion that I meant to grab before I sat down to do this, but it's just about, it's a collection of essays about literal and metaphorical wearing and washing away of things. I'm also prioritizing the prompt Earth Setting, meaning a book that takes place here on Earth. I'm not thinking I'm gonna have too much trouble with that one. It sort of feels like a prompt that will fulfill itself. And then the third high priority prompt is to read an intimidating read. And for this, I'm actually so excited. I got the Book of Form and Emptiness by Ruth Ozeki off of hold from my library. I had been waiting for it and I got it, so I'm gonna be reading that in April for sure, and that is intimidating because it's kind of long, and also it's on my 5-star predictions list. So and then the lower priority prompts are a book involving romance. Again, that seems like something that could just happen on its own. I'm not pre-selecting any books, although I do have a copy of the X-Hex sitting on my shelf that was loaned to me. Maybe I'll be picking that up. Another low priority prompt is, I feel bad saying low priority. Another prompt is a trope that you like. I'm not really sure what to think about this, but I also think that like I'm gonna be reading like one of the books that I read this month is gonna have a trope that I like, right? So that's also something that I think will fulfill itself. And then the final prompt is a book with a light source on the cover. That one's kind of weird, but just like something with like fire or a lamp or the sun or the moon or something. The moon's not a light source, but it reflects light. So yeah, those are the prompts that I also need to meld with my tic-tac-TBR prompts. So let's go get those prompts. Okay, now for the fun part, but first I am gonna get my rewards. I'm getting 3 this month. Feels good. I do still have 11 rewards. Let's see what we're gonna get. Okay, number 1. Swap a prompt. So if there's a prompt that I get that I don't like, I can just generate another one. Love that for me. That's the same one, right? Yeah, it's the same one. Well, can I have 2 of the same reward? I kind of think I can. It's not the same as the same prompt. So I'm just gonna have that twice. And number 8. A freebie. Amazing. So I can swap 2 prompts and I'll have a freebie. This is gonna be great. This is gonna be so easy. Okay, now let's do our prompts. There's 127 this month because I added in the prompts that I'm hoping to fulfill for the Magical Readathon. It's such a relief not to have Jane Eyre be front and center. Wow, okay. On my shelf, easy. I'm gonna pick a book from my shelf. A couple of those books are possibilities for me in the Magical Readathon anyway, so not too worried about that. Specifically, I have a couple of books that were loaned to me that I would like to get to sooner than later. Okay, next. 28. Over 100 pages. Actually, you know what? That's totally fine because I mentioned my intimidating read is going to be the Book of Form and Emptiness, and I'm pretty sure that that's over 500 pages, so she fits. $56. A mystery. Oh, that's so fun. Okay, hi, sorry, I had to take a quick break due to some technical difficulties. Specifically, my neighbors were being really, really loud. So anyway, let's just carry on. I have mystery as my 3rd prompt, and I'm pretty, like, meh about that, just because, I mean, I have a couple of things that, like, I could read. I do have at least one, like, mystery thriller arc that I could read. But there's nothing that's like pressing that I need to get to right now that's a mystery. However, I do generally like to listen to mysteries as audiobooks. So when I'm like looking for something to listen to throughout the month, that's usually what I go for. Okay, except that I do want to finish working my way through all of Riley Sager's mystery thrillers. And honestly, who could say why? Because I haven't been wowed by one in a while. But I know Survive the Night has a light source on the cover, and that's a thriller and mystery and would fulfill one of my Magical Readathon prompts. Whatever, let's keep it moving. Okay. 121, an East Asian author. Oh, okay. This is another one that I can't pull any specifics up right now, but I do have a list on my phone of a bunch of authors from different parts of the world / like books by authors from different parts of the world that are that I'm interested in. So I'll be taking a peek around those. And I know that there's a bunch of things on there by authors from the eastern part of Asia. I just don't have any in my brain right now. Oh, it should be a pink cover. Oh, we had that one already last month. I mean, I kind of phoned in pink cover last month anyway, so we'll just see. I don't think that anything that I'm currently reading has a pink cover, or that I'm itching for. I'm trying to just like visually run through a list. So that might be something that we swap out. but I'm gonna decide at the end. Oh, we have that one already. No double prompts. Thank you. Set in a state I have lived in. Okay. That's kind of funny. I had thought about doing a vlog of like ranking book or just like reading books from all the states that I have lived in. But you know what? I just I never fully fleshed out that idea. I never picked any books for it because once I started looking at the books, it was like, yeah, like a ton of amazing books are written that are set in California. Like there's so many. And then there's like a Mystic River as far as books set in Massachusetts. And then like books set in New Jersey are like not good. You know what I mean? So I do know that One for the Money by Janet Ivanovich is set in New Jersey where I was born. So I could read that. I wonder if I have any books set in Massachusetts. I don't think so. And yeah, it's pretty easy to find books set in California because it's a big state and it's a popular state. And those are the 3 states that I've lived in. So we'll see what happens. I do want to read One for the Money and I got a copy of it recently. We'll see. Mom's fave. Ooh, okay. Specifically, I know that my mom's like favorite book is A Fine Balance by Rohinton Mystery, I think. I don't quite remember the name. And that's a book that's on my 30 by 30 because it's my mom's favorite book. When I was asking around when I made that list, like what's a book that you think I should read, and she said that one, so that's my tentative pick. And she actually just finished reading Pachinko and said that it reminded her of that, so that's definitely intriguing. And that's another book that could potentially fulfill some of my magical readathon prompts, but I do think it's kind of a big book also, so we'll just have to see how I do with the Book of Form and Emptiness if I'm gonna get to that. And I guess I could ask her like some of her other favorites, but we'll just see. We'll just see. Okay. A classic. Listen, that one's getting swapped. I don't want to read another classic. I want a break. I was haunted by Jane Eyre and then I read Jane Eyre and now I want a break. Bad cover. I kind of don't like that prompt. Should I get rid of it? I guess I don't notice a bad cover as often as I notice like a great cover. Like it's either like the cover is really good or it's meh. Or it's just dated. Like sometimes I'm like, yeah, this was a good cover in its day, but now you would never. And I think I'm gonna swap a classic. Wait. Quiddler. Oh, okay, we're gonna go do that in a second. Oh, wow, I love that prompt. And I think I'm gonna swap pink cover also, just because we had it last month and I don't know. Did I not delete this prompt? Did I not delete this prompt? Apparently not. Okay. Well, book about sports. I really want to read this book, How Soccer Explains the World, because I think it's an interesting concept. It was highly recommended. I don't understand soccer either, so it could be just like a fun experience. However, it doesn't feel like I want to read it right now. And the other, I just want to read like kind of an obscure sports book, like the way that The Boys in the Boat is a sports book, which is about crew and rowing, and that's an excellent book that I loved. So if you know of any books that are like niche sports books, I'm interested. I think I played myself with that one, is what I think. Okay, well, this is the board, so let's do my Quiddler prompt. Okay, so Quiddler is a word game. It's got all these cards. The cards have letters on them. They're funky letters. And so I'm just gonna shuffle them, and then I'm gonna pick, I think, like 6 cards, and then just like try to make a word out of those. And we'll just see how it goes. I'm gonna shuffle off camera because I'm self-conscious about my shuffling ability. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh. Okay. Well, we've got this QU, that's helpful, but not really, actually. Wait, can you see any words in this? Is this a word? I think we just scrap this and we're gonna pull 6 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh my god, okay. Okay, tie is feeling like tie and T. Oh, or J. Okay. Okay. This is 2 different prompts. Maybe that's just what we're gonna do, is I'll have 2 prompts. Okay, so here is the final board for April. My Quiddler prompt ended up being the words tie and J. I think last time I did that I picked only 4 cards and made a word with that, but this time I picked 6. I don't really know what I was hoping for, but when you play Quiddler, you have to use all of your cards up in your words, so that's what I did. I made 2 words. So the prompt is either tie or J. I kind of like J because I feel like I could just use it as the letter J, like an author with a name that starts with a J. I also have my eye on a book that may or may not be about birds, and a J is a bird. So I also believe that I have a book on my Kindle that has a picture of someone with wearing a tie on the cover. So I've got ideas, I've got options there, but overall I'm pretty happy with this. So that's it. That's the end of this video. That's the end of my little TBR game. I hope you had a good time. Let me know if you've got any ideas for some books that'll fill these prompts. As always, I love to have ideas. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for being here. I appreciate every like, comment, and subscribe so much. So thanks again, and I'll see you back here next time. Goodbye.